I'm ready to across to the Kitchener Chamber of Commerce. One of the partners is presenting Bizwiz, our fourth annual Bizwiz today. So welcome. I want to thank real quickly before we get Manny Costa up here to introduce Billy Costa. I just want to thank our presenters. And among those are the Cape Cod Economic Development Council, the County, Cape Cod Times, Coastal Community Capital, WQRC, which includes CapeCod.com and Ocean 104. And today, Billy Costa is brought to you with a very specific sponsorship of Captain Parker's Pub and Costa Fruit and Produce, the Fresh Idea Conference. So we want to thank those two sponsors very specifically. And I would love to introduce now Manny Costa from Costa Fruit and Produce, the Fresh Ideas Company, who's going to introduce our main dish. Are you the appetizer, Manny?
Actually, I'm Billy Costa, and that's me. If the name Costa makes you buy from us and you think it's Billy Costa's company, then it works. You all know TV Diner. You know what a great job they do. You know what a great job Billy does. I really can't say too much more than he's just one of the greatest guys I know in the industry. Somebody that I'm proud to be a friend of. I'm proud to share a last name with. And without further ado, the one and the only Billy Costa from TV.
Nice round of applause for Manny Costa, my cousin Manny right there. There it is. Wow. This is a funny thing. Manny had no idea he was going to be asked to introduce me. You know, Wendy goes up, so will you introduce Billy? He said, well, I guess if I have to. So I'm walking around the room and I'm saying hello to a bunch of different people. And how about giving yourselves a round of applause? What an awesome event it's been. I mean, I've done a lot of food and industry events, and really they've done such a wonderful job. So again, some applause for the chamber, for the committee members, for the organizers, for the volunteers. Where's the noise? I don't hear it. Are we not all eating and having snacks? I see a lot of people having sandwiches. And I just want to say, starting with Jerry Manning and Captain Parker's, the chowder is platinum plate, and everything I've had to eat so far here, platinum plates across the board. Beautiful restaurants and specialty shops here at the Cape. I went to the Stage Candy Shop. They have like a Mayan Riviera. What, I said something wrong? Patty's been yelling at me since I walked in the door. I want to be very upfront with that. I thought she was just going to tackle me. Manny, you get my back next time. She was coming at me very aggressively. It just seems very wrong. You know what I've got working, and some of you may have it, maybe it's just a cold weather, dry weather thing. I've got that pant cling thing going on. Raise your hand if you share this with me. You know what I'm talking about. How do you fix that? Do you have any? Thank you. If we have any hairspray in the room, I'll get you a gift certificate or something. Anybody with some spray? Hairspray of any kind? No, I'm not kidding. You know what it is too? I never wear socks, and I find if you watch the show, I get email all the time. They're saying you're in a suit with a tie and you're not wearing socks. So I put them on today for this event, and now I've got cling-ling. That's bugging me. Anyway, I'm thrilled to be invited out here. I do want to tell you that we did climb 3 degrees as we made our way to the Cape. Even colder in Boston. So we're in, I think, the warmest, the nicest place we can be today, which I think could arguably be the coldest day ever. And, you know, Manny Costa, a good friend of mine, God love him. Did I mention proud sponsor of TV Diner as well as this event here today. He's a hardy kind of a guy. I walk up, the wind is howling, it's a biting wind, the wind chill advisories have been up all morning long, all through the night. Manny's just standing outside wandering. Like you don't get enough fresh air? It's freezing out, what are you doing? So I got asked, oh, here's the hairspray. You see what are you going to do? Wait, not there. How about my eco people over there? Is that hairspray going to hurt anything up here? No, I'm kidding. Go ahead now. It's more the right leg than the... It's not gonna... Okay. All right. Oh, you have some too? There, that's all done. Now I'm wet. By the way, neither one of them work. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Calm down. Like you have to do it inside.
Are you volunteering? What's that? You expect me to take a can of hairspray, open my pants, and spray it down? Is it okay if I just open the zipper a little bit? So I got invited, I got asked to come down here, and I said, oh great, another chance to go to Cape Cod. And you know, then I said, well, you know, we would like it if you would speak. And I said, why? And I'm saying to myself, initially I'm saying, well, what would I say and who would listen? And then I really started thinking about it, and in terms of the recipe for success and what I do versus what the majority of you folks here do, it is very similar, and I'll get to the reasons why as I work my way through the speech. As some of you know, I do a radio show each and every weekday morning from 6 until 10 in the morning with Matt Siegel. It's the Baty in the Morning Show on Kiss 108 back in Boston. Matty and I have been, partners for approaching 20 years now. Number one morning show in New England, 20 years running, thank you very much. Top 5 morning shows in America. Who's counting? And of course I do TV Diner on NECN. And the question I'm asked more than anything else, and in fact on a daily basis, is, well gee, how did you end up doing what you do? Whether it be the food show or something related to food television or television in general and or radio. And to be honest with you, there's not a thing that I do or thing that I have done that was ever scripted or ever planned. Every single thing that I've done, believe it or not, has been a total accident. Which is another reason I decided, well, okay, I'll go down and I'll speak. And since nothing in my entire life has ever had a script, why should my speech have a script? You know what I mean? I figured, I've done okay so far, why not just keep doing what I'm doing? Don't fix it if it ain't broke, as they say. So anyway, the way it all started was I was in prep school at the time and realized I wanted to go on to college, but I also realized that my parents didn't have, well, 2 nickels to rub together, as they say. I mean, I'm talking very poor. God rest their souls, they died without a bank account, a checking account, a credit card. Everything my dad did either through a pawn shop or through cash money. And so I knew the only way I was going to get on to higher education or get into school was by way of sports. It so happened I played a lot of sports. I was playing a lot of hockey at the time. Realized I had, well, I guess kind of a gift for it. So I worked at it and did it 24/7, did nothing but play hockey. The end result was I got into a prep school, they paid my tuition. The prep school led me to a college scholarship at Merrimack College. I stayed there for about 3 years. Oh, we have Warriors in the crowd, Merrimack, there you go, right there. And then after 3 years of doing nothing but play hockey and miss most of my classes at Merrimack, I decided, you know what, same as you, yeah. I don't think anyone was in my class. You were probably there at the same time as me. But I just realized that it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I was now in the middle of my junior year, so I dropped off. I took about a year off, and then I decided to transfer to Emerson College. And again, when I went to Emerson, I mean, everybody thinks of it now as this big communications broadcast facility or institution, and it is, and it's also big with drama. Funny thing is, I didn't go there for that. I went there because I legitimately at the time thought I wanted to be a high school teacher teaching speech education. Because having been through a pretty decent prep school and then 3 years of college, I came to realize that, well, the way I spoke just was not acceptable. And I mean, no speech patterns, regionalisms that were just off the chart. And I also realized that everybody who grew up with me had the same problem. And I also realized that all of us were getting through, 4 years of high school, and in most cases 4 years of college, without anybody stopping us for a minute to say, hey, you got a problem. You really need to learn how to put a couple of words together. You really need to learn how to construct a sentence, and you really need to learn, how to speak. So when I got to Emerson, that was the very first thing I did. In fact, I will tell you, and I'm not making this up, I'm not exaggerating, the very first teacher I had was a course called Voice and Articulation. And she was very accomplished in the field. In fact, she had her doctorate, and she was known nationally. And comes up to me after a week of classes, pulls me aside after class, and says, now I don't want you to take this wrong. And I'm not making this up. In fact, McPherson was her last name, Dr. McPherson. She said, I've been doing this for over 30 years. And I can look you in the eye and honestly tell you that you're the biggest challenge I ever had. And from that moment on, I knew I had to fix it. I had to pursue it, which I did. So anyway, long story short, I get through Emerson, almost. And the reason I say almost was because I was fortunate enough that a radio station known now as Kiss 108 was just going on the air. And I think it was 1979 or something like that. And Sonny Joe White, who was a famous disc jockey in the area, started Kiss 108. I had been working in college. One of the jobs I took was to play music in the nightclubs. And this is before the word disco was invented. I think at the time it might have been called dance music or R&B or whatever. But people were going to clubs and dancing. And a friend of mine said to me, hey, you know what, a great job while you're going to school, since you stupidly gave up that hockey scholarship, would be to work a few nights in a nightclub, and they were paying pretty well, and the hours were right. So I did that, and then ended up doing a live radio show out of the nightclub. I had never been on the air in my life. I went to the owner of the club, and you may know the place because it's famous within this industry. It was the Chateau de Ville. Man, you'll know it. There was a chain, of dinner theater places, wedding function facilities. There was one in Randolph, there was one in Framingham, there was one in Saugus. They were all owned by a gentleman named Mario Ciroli, who's happened to retire right now in Florida, thank you. And so he owns the joint, and I go into him one day and I say, hey, you know what, I've been doing a little research, I think we should do a radio show at a nightclub, right? And he says, what are you talking about? I said, just the whole show, we'll do 3-4 hours live on a Saturday night from the nightclub. Now, this had never been done before. You're hearing a lot of that now, and people are doing radio shows left and right from every street corner. Nobody was doing anything live then. And I gave him an idea of what it would cost. I had done the numbers, done the research. And he said, you expect me to pay that much money on a Saturday night? You're out of your mind. And he basically laughed me out of the office. And then 5 weeks later, he calls me back in. He said, hey, can we revisit that thing with the radio show? And we did. And 2 weeks later, we went on the air. And we did a live show. At the time, it was BOS Disco 93. BOS is still on the air, but it was then Disco 93. We were live every Saturday night. We had dance competitions, and at midnight every Saturday. Man, did you used to go? I think Manny won a couple of these dance competitions. You guys got rhythm. So midnight every Saturday night, we'd give away a $1,000 cash prize and a water bed. I'll never forget, the grand prize live on the radio every Saturday was a water bed. But the long and short of it is that the show became very popular. There were lines out the door every Saturday night to get in. We couldn't figure out why, but you know what? It was working. So now I'm getting out of school. It's time to go to work. I go to see Sonny Joe White, who's now running the brand new Kiss 108 in Boston. And I said, look, I'd like to come to work for Kiss. He said, well, we don't have any jobs. And I said, well, that's okay. I'll work for free. And I said, what I want to do is something that nobody's doing, and I think there's a future in it. I want to do news, but I want it to be all lifestyle and Hollywood and movie news and music news and everything else, and really expand on it. And I said, I'll tell you what, let me go to work, don't give me a dime, but in 6 months you're either going to pay me or I'm going across the street to your competition with. So sure enough, 6 months later, he hires me, and then I developed it into this thing where anytime there was an award show, whether it be the Academy Awards, the Grammy Awards, the American Music Awards, the Emmy Awards. I would travel out to Los Angeles and broadcast back to KISS live from LA, and would go backstage and would interview all the stars. And then I expanded it to where I started selling it to other radio stations around the country. I'd call them, I'd say, look, I'm going to be in LA backstage for the Oscars or the Grammys. You want coverage? Here's how much it'll cost you. So end result was I'd be in California broadcasting on 20 different radio stations, but doing the same reports. Just do different markets. So I'd write all my reports, do all my interviews, and then just get on the lines, whatever we call the lines, the broadcast lines at the time, and feed it all back to the various markets, but just keep rereading the same reports and using the same interviews. And I did this for years. And then I get a call one day from Channel 4. And I had never really done any TV. And they asked me if I wanted to co-host Evening Magazine. Now, and it was because of all the Hollywood stuff that I had just kind of developed by accident. Like I said, accident. So they called me, I said, really, that's a pretty big show. I mean, it had been on the air for I think 9 years at the time. It was the top show in the market. And so I went in, I did a couple of test shows, so to speak, and stayed with Evening Magazine for about 4 years, and then they pulled the plug. I don't think it was my fault. I mean, some people say I took Evening Magazine down. But we were on for 4 years. But I stayed at BZ at Channel 4 for another 3 or 4 years. I was doing a teenage rap show called Rap Around, where I'd have kids on the show and do all kinds of funny stuff. And then I was doing the new news, and this is where the food thing came in. I knew nothing about food. I wasn't doing anything with food, but I was doing the live news at noon on BZ TV. And they would have John Henning at the anchor desk, and Suzanne Bates, and the weather guy, and me. And I would be the guy that interviewed the author of the week, or some lifestyle story, or something entertainment related. I'd do a satellite interview with a movie star on a new movie coming out, or a TV show. And then on Fridays, if there was a popular food person in town, live on the set would do a little cooking demonstration. It could be Marianne Esposito, or Julia Child would come in all the time. So we'd do this little cooking segment. I had no idea what I was talking about or doing. I basically faked it. Again, accident. I don't know how we started doing the food, but again, that was an accident. Next thing I know, I get a call to host a food show, which was, I'm not afraid to tell you, Phantom Gourmet. And they had been on the air 2, maybe 3 years, or maybe 2 years. And so I went over, I started hosting that show. I stayed with that show for about 8 years. And then, about 3.5 years ago, decided, you know what, this has been great, it's been a swell ride, but there are a lot of things I want to do that I'm not doing right now with the whole food industry / restaurant industry. So I decided to leave and start my own show, which is now known as TV Diner. We're still on NACN. We're having a lot of fun, but again, there's just one accident after another. And what I said to you at the top was I realized last night going to bed that I don't really need a script, because so much of what I do is so much of what you do. The bottom line, I'm in a creative industry. You can do as well, you can make as much as you are creative. It's not the kind of business where you punch the clock in the morning, you get your coffee break before lunch, you take your lunch, you get your afternoon coffee break, and then you go home, and you know what time you're going to go home. My job has never been that way. My job changes every day, much like yours. The fact that I need to create constantly to stay hot in my field is the same thing you people do when you wake up every morning. The fact that you're here today, working and attending this event, means that you have the passion, means that you're creative, means that you can't possibly do enough in your field. Otherwise, why would you be here today? I mean, the passion means that you show up for work when you open your eyes in the morning, you start working. Because everything you're doing for yourselves. Everything you're doing, the more you do, the more successful you are with it, the better off you do in the industry. I mean, just take a look around at all of these entrepreneurs, all of these restaurant owners. I mean, Paul Marks, Manny Costa. I mean, the room is littered with them. If any of these business owners in the room were punching a clock and just thinking about when they were going to go home at the end of the day, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't have successful operations. They wouldn't be putting on demonstrations for you folks today, and you folks wouldn't be here picking their brains and sharing ideas with them, if you weren't literally starving to be as good and as creative as you can in your field. And the bottom line is, I think, because that's what we do, God, are we lucky. You know what I mean? I mean, we're just so lucky because, I don't know about you, but the most exciting thing I do in a day is wake up and go to work. And I'm not exaggerating. I have my most fun while I work. I just feel so fulfilled when I finish a day and feel as though I've done something new or created something new. And if this is the business you're going to be in, if this is going to be your recipe for success, so to speak, well, then you're doing the right thing just by being here. You know, you could have done something else. I mean, some of you may have a different way of looking at it. The way I look at it is, if you leave here today having learned something new that you didn't know before you walked in the door, something that you can apply to what it is you're going to do this afternoon or tonight or tomorrow morning or next week, well, then your job is done. That means you're doing what it is you were made to do. And it's all about accomplishing the most and creating the most and being as unique as you can. Otherwise, you know what? Punch a clock. Am I making this up? So anyway, it's a thrill to be here. I feel as though suddenly I've created a library environment, but that's okay. You know what that means? That means you're listening. And Lord knows I'll go home, nobody will listening to me for the rest of the day, so it's a thrill to have your ears. If there's anybody who has any questions, because in a couple of minutes I do want to bring a couple of people up and maybe they can share some of your ideas. Manny doesn't realize it, but I'm going to bring him up. And I'll probably bring up Jerry Manning. And if there's anybody, Patty, that you want me to bring up and talk to, please feel free to let me know. In the meantime, if you have any questions, I hate when I do this. Because if I ask for questions and I don't get any, I'm going to feel so bad. I'm going to say, oh my God, they hated me. Look at that. I haven't even asked yet, but you have a question. Go ahead.
So we did a show on Portland, Maine, and restaurants in Portland. And if I go on the NACN website, on your website, will I find where those restaurants are and stuff?
Yeah, it's funny you ask because the website, talk about wanting to be better and be more creative. The website, since I started the show, has been my biggest challenge. And I'll tell you why. It takes an incredible amount of manpower and hours, especially, well, I know you all have your own websites and you all know it just ain't easy. And what I'm up against at NACN is, A, they like me to share the creative people who man the websites for some of the other shows, like whether it be Jim Rowdy's show or the Chet Curtis Report or Dream House. And it's just too much work for that small group of people. So recently we teamed up with Boston.com. And Boston.com now is doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes creating for the website. I feel as though it's come a long way in the last 5 or 6 months. But I think what's going to be happening is we may now actually bring in, we had a meeting about a week ago, we may be bringing in a company that's all they do is web design. And so they'll be recreating and reinventing the TV Diner website. But as far as I know, if you do go to NACN.com, or more specifically, TV Diner at NACN.com, you can get information. Because I think Jenny, my associate producer, has been working a lot too to kind of help build that, as well as the newsletter. So all I can tell you is it's going to get even better. Trust me when I tell you. Yes?
I attended your event at John & Bart's Inn. Will you be on the Cape again or focusing on Cape Cod restaurants soon?
Yeah, you know what? I've had a lot of conversations since I walked in here this morning. Something that we, over the first 3 years, I've managed to do a series of live shows with TV Diner. And the way live shows work is they're totally live. I mean, you know, viewers get to come in. We have an audience of 2, sometimes 300 people. We did one at Marina Bay. We did one at Newburyport. We did one this past summer in Kennebunkport, thanks to my sponsor, Costa Produce, the Fresh Idea Company. And a few others. And we had 3 booked for this coming summer, tentatively booked. One was going to be in Plymouth. One was going to be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I know we had another one booked for Charlestown, right down on the water by the Constitution. And those are still 50% on. What we did at Chatham Bars Inn was something else. We did, I started this fun idea called the TV Diner Viewing Party. And again, total accident. I said, hey, I know, let's try this. So we did a viewing party, and I remember the very first viewing party was in Nantasket, on Nantasket Beach. A restaurant, oh God, I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was in a nice little hotel. And I didn't know what to expect, because at the time, we would have the live show at 10 a.m., because the main airing of the show was at 10 a.m. So I showed up driving all the way from Linfield to Nantasket on a Saturday morning. It was a beautiful day, and I'm freaked out thinking, oh, what if nobody shows? Because we had never done it. And it was our first real interactive thing with the viewing audience. So I pull up to the hotel, and this is at 7:30 in the morning because we're going live at 10 a.m. And there was a line through the lobby of the hotel, out, down along the beach, around the building, and into the parking lot. I'm saying, yes! This thing is going to work. So we did several of those, and then I decided to take it one step further with Chatham Bars Inn. They called us during the off-season, beautiful place by the way, called us during the off-season saying, we're looking for ideas to bring more bodies to the inn during the off-season, in the winter time. And I said, well, I've been toying around with this viewing party thing. Why not make it an overnight, like TV Diner pajama party? So we come in, and it was like a Friday night thing, and so it was like a one-night thing. So we came in, we did it, and they set up beautifully. They gave us the whole function building, and they did ice sculptures and all kinds of food, and meat carving stations, and pasta stations, and dessert stations. And so we did that one. It was a single overnight, and then when people arrived, we had like a martini arrival party, and then we had the actual viewing party the Saturday night, and it was just a great time. And then Sunday morning, people got up, and we had breakfast. We had a buffet breakfast laid out. We ended up doing 3 of those at Chatham Bars Inn that winter. That was last winter, and one of them was 2 nights. So we did the whole weekend, and we changed the themes. One weekend we did casino, so they set up a whole casino, Vegas-style casino. We had entertainment. It's always fun. And to answer your question, since that we've done one at their other property in New Hampshire, the Mountain View Grand Resort, and that was for Halloween weekend. We did a costume theme. We had a ball, and we're getting a lot of calls to do more of them. And I actually think we do have one booked at Wentworth by the Sea in Portsmouth. But I don't have the date yet. Oh, I'm sorry. We have one coming up this month. March 30th. Mark it in your calendars. I think there are a few rooms left. All due respect to the Cape, of course. We'll be here all summer. But it's North Conway. We're going up on a Friday night, March 30th. And, we'll have like an arrival party or something. No, we'll have a viewing party Friday night at Bellini's Restaurant, which is a great Italian restaurant right on Route 16 in North Conway. And then we're putting everybody up at the North Conway Grand or something like that, which is and it's attached to all the shopping outlets. So if you want to come up on a Friday afternoon, we'll do the party Friday night, and then have breakfast. You can go skiing Saturday, whatever. But it's March 30th in North Conway. If you're interested, I think there are a few rooms left. I asked yesterday. I think we had 60 rooms booked. And I know a lot of people I met here today asking about that sort of thing. We're definitely, I think, coming to Plymouth for a viewing party / overnight Friday night, July 27th or something like that, for a summertime thing. But we'll be doing a lot on the Cape. And in case you didn't notice, we changed something with the show first of the year, where now every week, instead of a theme, we come from a different destination. And, we've done, I don't know, we're shooting Hingham tomorrow. We did Route 9 last week. We've done Newton, we did a few weeks ago. And Beverly we've done. And so we're going to be going all over. As the warmer weather comes, we'll be hitting all the Cape Cod towns, from Dennis to Yarmouth to Harwich. And so every week we'll have a new destination. And if I have my say, they'll all be on the Cape. June, July, August, September. Another question? Yes, Patty.
How do we overcome a bad review? If someone gets a bad review, how can we work?
Good question. Bad reviews. Actually, I didn't get into it, but the way the reviews work, we have a segment on the show that's called Diner for a Day. How many people are familiar with that segment? Raise your hand. Yeah. And that's kind of our most interactive segment, and we designed it that way because We wanted the viewers to feel as though the show is as much your show as it is our show. And every week a viewer gets a chance to be a professional restaurant critic. And we get hundreds and hundreds of email every day on it, and we screen for the email. Jenny does a great job with it. And in the email, just so you know, if you're looking to be down there for a day, or if you've been trying for months and nothing's happened, the only tip I can give you is you need to, like, in your email, demonstrate a kind of a passion and be creative. Because we do get a lot that just say, yeah, I like food, I like a free meal, can I be the done for a day guy? So those go, we just throw those away. Because we have to kind of read between the lines and also see that you have the passion, and if you have the passion, you'll probably be good on TV, and that's important, because after you review the restaurant with one of our camera crews, then you're coming on the show and you're going to be on live television reviewing the restaurant. So we have that segment. Then we have our team of actual, legitimate, secret, authentic food critics. And, to me, this is the most critical element to the show, because to me, all of my credibility and all of the show's credibility is on the line when it comes to that's the core of our show, are the restaurant reviews. And if we're not on target, if we're not spot on with the reviews, we're screwed. Okay? It's a critical industry. And people are just dying to catch us screwing up. Like if we say it's great and they go and it's bad, I must say that, we do a lot of checking and rechecking, and overall our reviewers, our critics, are pretty on it. Like I'll go and I'll check it out, like if they said it was okay or if they say it was good, I'll kind of sneak into the restaurant, I'll have some friends of mine go and check it out just to get a comparison. I want to make sure they're on target. But in terms of fixing a bad review, because this is such a service-intense industry, and all you guys know what I'm talking about, if the service isn't there, you're screwed. And the frustrating thing with the food and the restaurant industry is you can only have so much control. And I can't tell you how many times I'm on the show, and I will tell you, and this is the God's honest truth, I will not touch a review. The review comes in, the review is written by the critic that I hired or we hired, and that's the way it's going to be. And the downside of that is I get a lot of friends in the industry who open new restaurants and they say, hey, you're going to come in and check us out. And I always say, okay, but things don't go well. It's not my fault. I can't fix it. Once the review's in, it's in. I can't change a syllable of that review. So the review is the review. And when I hear a review or watch a review on the show as we're taping it, and I hear all of these praises in the review in terms of the food was just wonderful. Oh, and this dish, and the atmosphere was a platinum plate. It was just gorgeous, and it was on the water, or it overlooked the golf course and the stars and the moon and everything. And then all of a sudden, service, for the lack of a better word, sucked. I get mad. I get mad on your behalf, because now the review is in, the review has just aired. And I'm so mad that, because I've been in this food industry with relation to TV for so long, that I know how much work is going into that restaurant and going into making that restaurant a success. I know a lot of times it's a chef owner who's pretty much given up anything he's ever made in his life and anything his family has ever made in their lives. And everything is on the line, and the poor chef is back there in the kitchen breaking his back. He's done everything. He's touched all the bases. The food is fabulous. The atmosphere, second to none, top shelf. And then some wait person, all due respect, who was hired, was working that particular Friday or Saturday night, totally screwed him on the review. And I feel your pain. There's nothing I can do about it, but I really feel your pain. So Patty, in answering your question, how do you fix it? I will say this, when that happens on the show, and I'm hosting the show, I always jump in at the end and make sure that I reiterate, by the way, do you see what just happened there? Everything at that restaurant was great. One single person screwed it up, and it was probably out of the chef or out of the owner's control. So I think it's worth another visit. What I would do there are many times where the restaurant owner or the chef will call me and say, you know, Jesus, you're in my place, and we got a bad review, and I want to know what happened. And, you know, I will privately, off the record, tell the restaurant owner and chef when we were in, what time of the night or day it was, and even do my best to get a description of the wait person so that he can deal with it or she can deal with it. And so that's really the only way to fix it. You got to get to the root of it. That person should not have been working in your restaurant, ever.
And that would go to any business in the room as well.
Any business in the room, same thing. Service, and again, I feel your pain. I mean, I go through it. I mean, you know, during the course of my years in radio and my years on TV, I've had people that kind of didn't work out. I mean, you know, but you got to deal with it. You can't sit on it because that one experience, don't forget, that one experience didn't have to be a food critic from TV Diner. That one experience, all it had to do was be a customer. That customer is going to leave. That customer was probably with at least one other person, maybe four. All of a sudden, you've got these four people scattering. They're going their own separate ways. What do you think they're doing the next morning? They're calling everybody they know to tell them how disappointed they were in their dining experience. So it doesn't have to be a TV show. And it's not easy. But in terms of the recipe for success and what you can do to make sure you're attaining the success that you've earned. You've earned it. They're the ones screwing it up. I don't know what that formula is, and you know, you guys, you know, Paul and Manny and everybody else, you guys within the business, I'm sure you've got check systems and recheck systems and everything else, but it's amazing that you work your whole life and then one moron can ruin the whole deal. All right? All right. Okay? Look at Manny. Manny's standing there afraid I'm going to invite him on guitar. Thanks for having me in, folks. All I can say is Cape Cod is beautiful. The TV Diner is going to be spending a lot of time on the Cape this spring and summer. And just keep on doing what you're doing again. Check everybody and recheck them. Again, thanks for having me. Okay, don't go anywhere. Manny and Jerry are coming up and we have raffles. Jerry Manning. Manny, come on up. Once again, round of applause for Manny Costa, franchise company. Jerry Manning, our legend, Captain Partners. Show of hands, how many of you have a travel? Jerry, how about you? Anything you want to add about Cape Cod and the recipe for success or anything?
Well, we just want to thank you for coming down today. It was great. Really happy to have you. About a month ago or so, myself and Patty went up and we had a chance to visit Billy at his shop. And it was really quite interesting to see how the show operated from behind the scenes. And it was really terrific. It was really interesting, and I was fortunate enough to get on the show. And that was really great.
Accident.
Accident.
That's right. It's all about accidents.
But again, thank you so much for coming down and helping us with the visitors. It was great. Thank you.
Oh, you want to do the raffles, Patty? All right, well, why don't we have these guys pull them, and I'll read them, and you'll give them. Oh, the Turkish Towel Company. How many folks stopped by the Turkish Towel Company? Now, you're going to think I'm crazy, but before he told me what he did, 2 nights ago, I'm home, and I said, how does this even happen? I just dried my towel, but it won't dry. You ever have one of those towels and you're wiping it, it's just not dry? What is that even called? Well, he explained it. It's about polyester and everything they put on the outside of the towel. So there. Yeah, you could have a robe just like Jack Nicholson in The Departed. How about that? Boy, how sexy does he look, ladies? Come on. Was that really Turkish Towel's robe in the movie?
Yeah, there's Mr. Turkish Towel.
This was your robe in the movie? Not your personal robe, but... Yeah. Yeah, so you didn't actually share a room with Jack and like robes and everything. Yeah, okay. That's another story for another show. All right, so here we go. And the winner is, from Rockland Trust, George Goosey. Goosey. All right, George, look at this beautiful. What a striking figure you're going to come with that leopard skin robe. There he is. Next time you see George, he'll be in leopard skin. Oh yeah, where are the kitchen people who set up the kitchen here? Raise your hand. Are they in the room? Beautiful job on the kitchen. Now we get to pull a name right now and somebody takes the whole kitchen home. That's pretty nice. Very generous. That's what they do. They're the kitchen people. Oh, I'm just kidding. You see the look on his face? Patty, who said that? Patty? We never worked that out.
Guys, we need a winner. What are we giving, the Viking? Or the wine chest? I'm only kidding.
Okay. So I'm pull a winner. And what are we giving away? Okay. It's a gift certificate you can use at more than 100 restaurants on the Cape. South Shore, Boston, North Shore, and Western Massachusetts. So not just the Cape. So if you're doing business elsewhere, a little free lunch or dinner. And that's from TD Bank North, right over there. Thanks, folks. And they sponsor the Kenny Buckwood Show too, didn't they? Yes, they did. And, well, I told you should be doing this. Manny wanted you to know that these winners, boy, are they cleaning up. The OREC people. Yeah, we're over big, Manny. Leah Kanan from the OREC people, the vacuum squad.
They're down there in the booth.
Where are they? Leah, you just want a gift certificate. There she comes right now. Give her a round of applause. And what do we got? I want to say hello and a shout out to the fooling around people. Oh, fooling around. Yeah, the fooling around people, that's for the singles show tonight. And, but fooling around with John Riga. Wait a minute, I know John Riga. Where's John? Hey John, how you doing, buddy? I'm sorry, the D for a second looked like an L. And you are fooling around right now as we speak. All right. Sundays, 10 a.m. to noon, WXTK FM 95. And what are we giving away now?
Giving away nothing.
Oh.
We just mentioned. Oh, we're giving away something. We're giving away a dining club. Right, John? A dining club.
So the fooling around folks are giving away a dining club membership. And that goes to, oh, great name, from Cape Cod Children's Museum, Mercedes Kearney, Executive Director. Mercedes! Yeah, where's the Cookie Man?
Cookie Man.
Cookie Man, there he is right there. How about him? How great was he looking? He sleeps in that too, by the way, just so you know. But try some cookies. Paul Mark's company is over there. Everybody, if you're into the ecosystem and everything else, we've got all kinds of green products you may want to check out over here. Always doing some good things. I've got some cookies up here. Yeah, how about the staff over here at Captain Parker's working all morning long, serving up the chowder. Well, not just chowder, but we're winning chowder. Yeah, man, you've got a team of about 37 people over there. That's pretty good. And look at how well-dressed they all are. Boy, must be a good company. Treat you right over there, huh? Look at them all wearing $2,000 suits. I'm just kidding. Manny, I'm kidding. Oh, Manny, look at me. Yeah, I wish 2,000. Make that 5. No, I'm kidding. But hang around. There's so much to hang around for. And I have another card here.
Narragansett, which is mine
Hey!
first.
Neighbor.
Hi, neighbor.
Have a Gansett.
Narragansett.
I'm giving away a Narragansett check. We were talking earlier, and man, you can appreciate this. My dad drank nothing but Narragansett. So when I walked in and I saw the sign, I said, wow, Narragansett. Boy, does this bring me back. So, hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. Have a Gansett.
Have a Gansett. Well, that was the slogan then. Is it the slogan now?
Sure is. That brewed just right for drinking.
It is brewed just right for drinking. And you all get a free six-pack on your way out. Well, I mean, you know, I kind of held that to the last. And The Hi Neighbor Havaganza jacket goes to, from Cape Cod Sea Camps, Cheryl Kimberly. Oh, I want to give one. Can I give one? Or you still have one? Oh, we're giving away more prizes there? Oh, I thought we were done. Well, let's keep giving these away. I want to give a 4-pack of TV Diner mugs. Hot off the presses of the new Cobalt Blue, by the way. Oh! 2 round-trip tickets. Hyannis to Nantucket on the high speed. For the Martha's Vineyard Steamship Authority. Where are they? I met them earlier. Oh, we fly the steamship every summer. I think my children have flown off the steamship carriage more than you've probably been on it, but that's okay. 2 round-trip tickets. Boy, do they know how to raise all those kids' money. No, I'm just kidding. Whoa, from Bank of America. Benjamin Middleton, off you go to the high seas on board the Steamship Authority. Hyannis to Nantucket and back. 4. From Xerox.
Ooh, Xerox.
Laura Brady. Hello, Laura. Oh, you're so quiet, Laura. Are you a professional winner or something? Because usually people get excited when they win stuff. Are you just that tainted, that used to it? You're going on the dinner train for 2. And you know what? It's so romantic. Well, it's not? Sure it is. I do? What's your pocket? Oh, look at that. Top card. Oh, it's a card. Oh, I didn't know they gave me that. There we go. Look at that. In my pocket, a dinner card to the incredible Scargo Cafe. Peter and David Trout. Are you guys brothers? We are? Oh, look at that. How do you get that much good looks in one family? You know, it just doesn't seem fair, does it? Scargo Cafe, right here on the Cape, gift card goes to a great winner, says Jerry, president and doctor. I'm guessing there aren't many of those here. Who in the room is a president and a doctor? Wow, look at you, aren't you so proud? Are you Kathleen Jasper? Wow, good for you. So you're president of Cape Cod Community College? Oh, right, and you've got a culinary program, and check this out, she does something very cool, a Russian dinner. A complete Russian dinner for how many? For 4, and how can people get it or win it?
Come to our fundraisers from the Stammer Institute. Bid high.
Not only bid high, bid often, as we say in the auction business. Well, how about that? So Kathleen, you, who generally make the Russian dinners for everybody else, thank you, you're going for dinner at Scargo Cafe. You've got a doctor and a president going in. All in one person, one house. See, it's moments like this, Manny Costa, who's extremely accomplished in life, is saying to himself, why can't I separate myself from that person? How did I somehow get attached to him? Right? I know, that's okay. Hey, look who wins the gift basket! None other than David Troutman from Star. Oh yeah, I'll tell you one thing, you need a floater or a load or something, just bring the gift basket and say, hey, Rockland Trust, look at me! And, okay, where's the Fitzy Snowman? Oh, for scalping. Oh, this is my, give this guy a round of applause. He called into the Manny Show this morning, Sean Fitzpatrick. Now, you want to talk about, this is exactly what I was talking about during the speech, that you have to constantly be thinking, constantly be looking for new ways to expand what it is you do and to make yourself better. Sean is driving around in the car this morning, and Maddie and I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, he was asking me where I was going because I was leaving the showroom. So I'm talking about the event and everything. Sean calls in and plugs the event, talks about the wonderful event that it is, and then of course we get to talking about what it is that Sean does, and Sean sculpts sand. Like, you know when you have the sandcastle competitions and things like that on the beach? Sean does that for a living. And you know how when you go to a function or a wedding or something and they have ice sculptures? Do you ever think sand? No, you laugh. Sean, am I making this up?
Big money.
Yeah, like, what, come on over here. You make big money or they cost big money? And a new member of the Cape Cod Chamber. How about that? And by the way, Sean brings up a good point. It all started by accident. Tell how.
My son was playing at the beach and he was 2 years old and he wanted to chase around girls' bikinis. Not that that was a bad idea, but my wife thought that he probably could have something else to do, so I started sculpting sand with him on the beach.
Well, there you go, and you've been doing it ever since. Now, the funny thing is, when he calls into the radio show this morning, and, you know, we just innocently say, so Sean, what do you do? You know, because we kind of like to get to know the listeners. And Sean says, well, I make sandcastles. So as two grown men hosting a major market radio show, we're thinking, for a living? I mean, it was one of the most unusual calls we ever had. Like, let me get this straight, you know, like, we'll go to the beach and, like, do a little thing in the sand with the kids, right? It keeps them occupied for a couple of hours. You do it for a living. There was just something odd about it. But you know what? He's unique and creative, and it all happened by accident. And now, does he win a prize? Is that why? Yeah, didn't we pull his name? Oh, you wanted me to say hello to him. Yeah, well, you know what? Well, you know what, Sean? You got more of a plug than you really should have. Because I was fascinated by the whole thing. Yeah, see, there's your prize. You have to do a big, giant sandcastle for the chamber event, which is coming up. But I'm not kidding. Weddings, right, Sean?
Weddings, parties, indoors and outdoors. So
There you go. See, you were laughing, and I saw you. I caught you laughing. It's beautiful. Okay, 2 round trips. Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard. Steamship Authority. Hey, Gina, I've got your card right there. Where is it?
Gina.
Mention Gina's name, and I think you get like, I don't know, like a cookie or something in the snack bar. But there it is, round trip, Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard. You know them, you love them. The Steamship Authority, and here's the winner, WERC. Kathleen Girelli.
Kathy Girelli. Kathy Girelli?
Now, what is WERC?
Course Education
Oh, well, there's the doctor again. She forgot to mention she'll be a judge by the end of the month. And she's working on brain surgery next. And that's all in her spare time. And it's all by what? Accident. All right. So, what does Kathleen win? Oh, she gets the round trip. Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard. There you go. All right, Baty, pull one out. I've got a gift certificate here to 902 Main. Oh. We've all been there? Okay. Where's the 902 Main folks? They just left? How do you know? Are you some sort of a busybody or something? No, I'm kidding. They're friends of yours? It's great. The best restaurant. There it is right there. 902 Main, South Yarmouth. Hey, now that I have a microphone, can I say, you're listening to Ocean 104 FM. I'll guarantee you have the ocean sounds in the background, right? When you do the ID on the station? Absolutely. All right. This is the winner of 902 Main. Hot tip, you can't really read the name. It's a bad choice of color in the car. Oh, is it yours? You recognize it right away? Beautiful colors, just wrong place. I'm thinking name on the white side. Well, that's why I'm here. I offer tips. But Melinda Schmidt.
Right there. I actually just don't know where it is. It's up
And
there.
right about now, you're all saying, boy, why wasn't his speech this funny? Don't tell me you weren't thinking that, buddy. I saw you sitting there. Melinda Schmidt, Director of Communications. Gloria Del Artes. Gloria De Arte. Okay. And what do you do?
What do you do?
I know. Oh, performing arts groups. Boy, it's all happening here on the Cape. All right, well, there you go. And wait, now I'm confused. She won 902 Maine.
And we have one more.
And they're all jealous.
Gail, stand up.
Hello. Are you the Eptide people? And the Seaview. Now the Seaview is Dennisport, that's new? New to your list. The Seaview, Dennisport, Mass. And the Eptide is 48 years on the planet and in business. And where's the Eptide? So they're both in Dennisport. Good for you. Where do you get your fruit and vegetables? Well, very nice job. Fresh. You know, they happen to be the Fresh Idea Company. Think about it. Not only is it fresh, but of all things fresh in the world, they're the Fresh Idea Company. That's where fresh was invented. Am I lying? Feel free to write these down as potential slogans. I'm a think tank. All right, so now, Eptide and Seaview. What's the specialty over there? Lobster pie. From Rockland Trust, Eleanor Weller. From Rockland Trust, here she comes. Eleanor Weller. I give her the card. Patty just wants to punch me in the face. No, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, we have a 3-hour limo? Party time! Oh, and they're Bentleys? Are they yours? But you have access to them. From Carriage House Limousine. How'd you like to ride around in a Bentley? Yeah, pull up to the end tap. 3 hours in a Bentley. And you know, you can hold on to it for later and you know, special occasion or something, a birthday, wedding gift. Think about that. You don't have to go, you know, well, you know what I mean, buy the wedding gift and go through the registry and everything. Well, what do you know? Guess who's riding in a limousine, a Bentley? Oh yeah, she doesn't spend all of her time on board those ferries. No, Gina from the Steamship Authority is getting a 3-hour Bentley ride from Carriage House. Call me crazy. Shouldn't you guys talk and arrange for people to take Bentleys over to the ferry? And yeah, okay, I'm working it right here. Where do you get your fruits and vegetables from? Just kidding. You know, you should put some hot chowder in the Bentley from Captain Parker. We can arrange that, by the way. Gina, would you like some hot chowder in your Bentley? All right, well, Jared will make that happen. Right, guys? A little bowl of, you know, like a little pot of chowder. A couple of bowls. All right, now this is the Optimist Cafe. This is the prize. And it's... gift certificate, the Optimist Cafe, breakfast, lunch, and high tea being served in Yarmouthport. That's a friendly card. And the winner is from TRI, Joe Forgione. Joe Forgione. Off we go with the Optimist Cafe.
Come on, Patty.
Okay. Okay. Right after this. Hey Joe, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. TRI, right? Yeah. Where do you get your broccoli and stuff? It's amazing. You guys hiring? Okay, so now that's it on the prizes.
For now.
For now, 3:15 more raffles. Make sure you're in your seats. The seminars. Okay, and who's doing seminars? Okay, Wendy's going to come up and give you the itinerary for the afternoon.
How about a great round of applause?